You ever pull a weed out of your backyard and you just cut the top of it off? What happens? It grows back. Why? Because you didn't pull the whole root out. I had a conversation with someone today and he got all bent out of shape. And I said, what is the root reason that we're here in this time as a society? It's white supremacy. It's what this country was founded on. It's what it's operated on. It's what it's benefited off of. It's what its capitalism has been built off of black people. But it seems like people that look like me don't want to be uncomfortable and sacrifice for the people that we've benefited off of. Why is that? Because we want to stay in our privilege. See, I see this big push for the midterms, and I'm all for the Democrats winning, but this is what's going to happen. Bear with me here. The Democrats win, then what? Then they take over. You're still leaving the root in the ground. See, that's what's going to happen. If the Democrats win, nobody's going to talk about the racism and white supremacy. You're going to say, oh, let's come together. Let's deal with it later. And you know what? Black people have been hearing that for 400 damn years. And one of the people I talked to today, she goes, do you understand what's happening? I can't afford you. I can't do this. Black people were in trees. They were lynched. Black women had their babies torn out of their uteruses. 1.3 million black people died from Africa on the slave ships. Another million died being in prisons before they came on the slave ships. They couldn't vote until the 1960s. Asians were in internment camps. Native Americans had over 50 million people. Now they're down to like, what, 200,000? I'm sorry. Let's put this into context. You don't have money. Okay, I got it. Compared to the atrocities that people that aren't white have happened, that's pretty damn small, isn't it? It's pretty damn insignificant. I'm sorry if I'm not going to play a violin for you. I grew up poor. I walked 5.2 miles to work every damn day. When I finally got a car after 3 years, I had to sell my PlayStation to pay my rent once. I had to sell my Spawn comics to buy gas. My first table when I got married was a cardboard box and a white sheet. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to be poor. I lived being poor, so spare me the shit. What I hear is white people don't want to be uncomfortable. What I hear is I don't want to live the life that black people have lived since 1619. That's what I'm trying to get through to people. Only 8 million people out of 340 million people protested on a Saturday outside of working hours on a 70-degree sunny day. Does that seem like people are willing to sacrifice it? But Paul, you don't understand. I do understand. And I'll ask you this. What if your kid was in a concentration camp just because they were brown? What if they were eating moldy bread? Would you do everything? Or would you say, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, daughter, I love you, but I have to go to work. I have bills to pay. What if your daughter was a victim of Epstein Island? Would you say, oh, I'm sorry. I have bills to pay. I got to go to work. I can't fight for you and protest every day. You're damn right you would. If your dad or mom died after January 6th, what would you be saying? Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing to see here. I got bills to pay. What if your daughter was murdered by Trump in Iran in that girls' school? What would you say? You'd be pissed. You wouldn't say, oh, I can't afford to. And see, that's really the root of why we're here. We have people that say, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do this, but you only want to do it in your comfort zone, in your privilege. Look at Kentucky. The median income for a white person is $62,000. For a black person, $46,000. You don't think that they want to be out of that? You don't think they want to be getting equal pay to the white person? Of course they do. But white people don't want to be uncomfortable and sacrifice for somebody else. It's not my problem, it's their problem and their problem and their problem. I'm going to do what's best for me. And you don't want to pull the root out of the ground. That's why America's still here. Because for 400 years, year after year, decade after decade, white people go, not my problem. I'm going to do what's best for me. Not my problem. I'm poor. I can't afford to. I can't afford to. I won't. I can't. I won't afford to. I won't afford to. Year after year after year after year after year for 400 years. That's what white people have done. When is the time? Tell me. When is the time where you're going to sacrifice your financial discomfort, anything in your life, for somebody else that doesn't look white? Because that's really what this is. And on that call, you know what I told the guy? I said, evil succeeds when good people do nothing. Evil succeeds when white people sit in their privilege. We will not remember the words of our enemies. We will remember the silence of white people that said, I can't afford to. I won't sacrifice my comfort for you. That's why we're here. So in that aspect, I kind of take the other side of it. Listen, I don't want the Republicans to win at all because they're disgusting human beings. But I also think that Americans haven't suffered enough yet. I don't. I think that they need to suffer more. I'm sorry. That's a fact. Until the darkness affects you, you're not going to care. You haven't suffered enough to start fighting for somebody else other than yourself. That's the country I want to live in, where people give a damn about somebody else. I grew up poor. I lived poor. I slept in tents and sleeping bags and Suburbans. I didn't even fly on an airplane. I didn't even stay in a damn hotel. We were poor. I lived it. I know exactly what I'm asking. But just remember, your grandparents weren't in somebody's will as property. You're not called the N-word. Your house isn't redlined. Your house isn't appraised at a different price. You're not looked at differently. That's privilege. And if your first response is, well, Paul, I understand. I do. You just don't want to feel and walk in the shoes of what it's like to be black in this country. And that's what it comes down to. And I'm going to keep saying it. Until white people get a fraction of what it's like to be black in this country since 1619, they ain't going to give a damn. And you white people that are still saying, I can't, you haven't even got a fraction of what it's like to suffer. And until you do, you're not going to care. You'll know. When 20 or 30 or 40 million people are ready to go out on a Saturday, when 20 or 30 or 40 million people are going to say, this is enough, this needs to stop, I need to stand up for my fellow Americans, even if it makes me uncomfortable, and go out and go on a general strike. That is what America should be about. That is what patriotism is. That is loving the neighbor. That's the country I want to live in. And that's the country I'm going to fight for. Tell me I'm wrong. Because all I hear when I hear the elections is white people just want to go back to normal. I don't want that. You want to progress this country? Then sacrifice your comfort. If you're not willing to sacrifice a couple of bucks in financial discomfort to even fight for somebody else, then why are we doing this experiment? Why? Just break up the states then. Everybody just do whatever the hell you want. Go out and start farms and raise cattle. Because the society is supposed to be caring for each other. I saw a video about elephants. Little baby elephant. Every single elephant, every single one, took care of that baby as if it was their own. And all I see from Americans is me. And if everybody came together like a grain of sand, we could form a beach and we can actually make this country better. Choice is yours, America. You want to sit your privilege? Go ahead. But like Michelle Obama said, if you don't think the darkness is coming over your house, if you think your white privilege is going to keep you safe, you are sadly mistaken. Have a white day.